My name is Enrika and I'm chef owner of Fauna Food Works here in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm really big on telling stories with my food now. It's not just about cooking and preparing a recipe, but just making people feel and understand what the food means to me and to others. Chefs have traditionally had some sort of stewardship with community and food and working with farmers. That was part of your uniform. What are you doing for the people that come into your restaurants? What are you doing for the people who provide the food and the things that you need to serve people? I always think about how resilient people, especially Black people, have had to be in times of crisis and during segregation and Jim Crow, and finding ways to eat, to be fed themselves spiritually, mentally, intellectually, financially. What did they do? They always found a way to make these things happen. So my grandmother would always pack us a shoebox with fried chicken, some pound cake that she made, but she would always want us to have this box. And as a kid, it was just something that Granny gave us. As I got older and started researching, and older has been probably within the last 10 years, understanding the story behind it. We couldn't stop everywhere safely and have something to eat. So the actual brick and mortar space with Fauna Food Works was a unique one because it wasn't just myself. So it was really important for me to carve out a space within the food hall, but also making sure that the integrity and the creativity that I wanted to have with the food would be present in there and stand out, and also give me a space, a physical space to express myself. It's just something about ownership and owning not only a space, but your ideas and your creativity, and being able to share that with other people. So we are on Ferris Street, and actually I was slated to do a luncheon with the Fertile Ground Project, and I was gonna do a lunch on Ferris Street, and the vision was to have this one continual table down the center of Ferris Street and to create a neighborhood feel. I was gonna have all of these beautiful things displayed and things on the table, bountiful things on the table, but COVID kind of shifted that for us. But this is a beautiful space here. Before, this was just full of overgrown weeds and just lots of trash and things that people just kind of discarded and left there. And now there's sunflowers and there are greens and kale and herbs. I've had a really interesting resurgence and rising up out of the ashes, so to speak, as a result of the coronavirus and the quarantine. I have been in spaces of deep thought and just really making sure that the things that I do are connecting with the needs of people. I've been growing things. I've been planting plants, herbs, vegetables. I've been in deep talks with farmers and people who raise cows who are too in that same space. So it's challenging me to come up with creative things. It's challenging me to push the limits and the boundaries of the things that I'm doing, and making sure that everything that I do is rooted in positive and being better. We can't, as chefs, as creatives in any discipline, we can't take into account the way things are now and the way that things are now. There is no going back to the norm or what was the norm. Now we have to do better. We have to be more cognizant of how we treat people, what people need, the needs of the community, the accessibility of food. All of those things affect us. We just can't afford to not be involved in some way.